one single Bitcoin in your portfolio could soon make you a millionaire. In fact, if you run the numbers, you'll see that Bitcoin $1 million is actually a mathematical certainty. I know it sounds improbable now, but here's the thing. Bitcoin is still in its infancy. Only 1 out of every 28,000 people own a single Bitcoin. But as more and more people start to understand how big this is, the profits will be gargantuan. Experts like Jeremy Liu, billionaire investor in Snapchat, say Bitcoin will go to at least $500,000. PayPal board member Wences Casares confirms that there is a higher than 50% chance that a Bitcoin is worth more than $1 million. The biggest mistake is not to own any Bitcoin, he says. Even Bill Gates recently declared Bitcoin as better than currency. In short, we're looking at one of the most unique and rare money-making opportunities in history. The only problem is, most people don't understand how to buy Bitcoins, and they certainly don't know how to purchase new digital currencies like Ethereum, which has gone up 3,000% in 6 months. Today, I want to show you how to do it. I'll reveal how a single Bitcoin could make you a millionaire. As Chandler Go, famed angel investor, says, one is enough when Bitcoin becomes $1 million. But today, I'll also show you the new digital currencies that can turn as little as just $10 into tens of thousands of dollars in the blink of an eye. Consider, this year alone that we saw gains of 5,248% in No Limit Coin in just 6 days, 8,294% in Quark, 8,313% in Mediterranean Coin, 11,328% in Decred coins, and 13,595% in Fastcoin. Tiny new digital currencies are offering profits even faster than Bitcoin is. Now, to be clear, you don't need to be a computer whiz for this. You don't need to know every detail about how digital currencies work. And you don't have to start actually shopping with Bitcoin or anything like that. Rather, you only need someone with a little know-how to show you how to set yourself up for the biggest profit ride of your life. I've personally made more than 600% in one digital currency, more than 1,981% in a second, and more than 3,500% in another. And I expect to make a whole lot more. As Business Insider CEO Henry Blodgett recently stated, there is infinite upside. Digital currencies are the one place in markets where you can start with $100 or even $10 and turn it into real money fast. I've seen stories of everyday people like Chris Hansen, who turned $27 into more than $886,000, and Marcus Andrews, who started with $300 and ended up with $80,000. But here's where it gets truly exciting. Bitcoin is set to undergo a change that could instantly accelerate the profits for all digital currencies. The gains will be out of this world, but only those who recognize the opportunity right now will see the fast profits. So if you're the type who is paralyzed by anything new, or you're the kind of person who always waits until the party is over to get in, then you may want to sit this one out too. But if you follow the evidence I'll lay out in the next few minutes, I think you'll see that Bitcoin and other digital currencies are on the verge of creating new millionaires all over the world. If you hesitate, you risk missing the greatest wealth opportunity of a generation. My name, by the way, is Adam Sharp. I'm the co-founder of Early Investing, a business my partner and I created to help everyday people understand and profit from the most exciting new investments on the market. A lot of people out there are told that the only recipe for growing their wealth is to buy blue chips or index funds, and then wait 30 years for your money to slowly grow. And while that's all well and good for some, I'm living proof that you can increase your wealth much faster. The key is identifying explosive opportunities in the fastest growth areas outside of the stock market. I've been up more than 50 times my money in private placement deals, and I've already made a small fortune in digital currencies. For example, I got in on one called AntShares earlier this year. At the time, it was trading for just $1.50, but I watched it climb to $10.71 in less than a month. And I bought Ethereum at $9.70 in November 2016 before it rocketed to $355. I was up 3,559%, and I recently obtained 27,000 coins in a tiny digital currency for just 18.5 cents each. The value of my position has since increased as much as 1,981%. I cashed out 12,000 coins at $3.50, but still hold the rest, nearly $100,000 in total. A lot of people out there talking about Bitcoin and digital currencies don't truly understand them, but I've lived it. I've made a great deal of money from it, but there's so much more to make going forward, we haven't even scratched the surface. You should look at putting a small amount of money in Bitcoin. Just one coin could one day be worth more than $1 million. But there are also now dozens of small digital currencies trading for just a few cents that are moving up dramatically over very short periods, like Ash. It traded for just 2 cents a coin, then it shot up to $1.15. $100 turned into $5,750. Or No Limit Coin. It jumped 5,248% in 6 days, from June 14th to June 20th. Every $100 turned into $5,348. Or Mediterranean Coin. Between March 4th and June 30th, it was up 8,313%. Imagine collecting 83 times your money in just 3 months. It all boils down to this. Bitcoin has created a whole new market that's only going to grow from here. A single coin purchased today could go as high as $1 million. So if you want to just buy one Bitcoin and hang on to it, there's a very real possibility you'll end up a millionaire. I'll show you how you can do that today. But if you're interested in getting in on ultra-cheap digital currencies that have even more upside potential, the profit opportunities are endless. With most of these digital currencies, you can get in for just a few pennies. Yet they have the potential to rise to $10, $50, or even $1,000 per coin. The upswings are happening so fast we can hardly keep up. In just 1 week in June, 23 separate digital currencies rose more than 100%. Let me repeat, 23 currencies doubled in 1 week. By comparison, the S&P 500 hasn't had a single stock double this entire year. So far, the best performing S&P stock in 2017 is Vertex Pharmaceuticals, up only 75%. So why is this happening? Why are digital currencies rocketing higher? Let me explain. The number one objection I hear when I talk about Bitcoin is that it has no real value. Because it's a digital currency, some people believe it's less valuable than physical currency. I can understand the criticism. You can't hold a Bitcoin in your hand, and most people haven't owned or transacted in Bitcoin yet. It's new and misunderstood, and people are always skeptical about new innovations. Look at what happened when the internet was first introduced. Magazines like Newsweek declared it nothing more than a bunch of hype. They made spectacularly wrong predictions like, no online database will replace your daily newspaper. One day, we'll look back at the doubters of Bitcoin and ask, how could they have been so blind? Because those who today believe Bitcoin is just a fad haven't really studied the situation closely enough. It's actually one of the most important inventions ever created, and it has real value. Most importantly, Bitcoin and other digital currencies cannot be controlled by reckless governments and banks. Think about the dollars in your pocket. The government prints as many as it wants, whenever it wants, always decreasing the value of your money. It's the reason the dollar has lost 97% of its value since 1913. By comparison, digital currencies like Bitcoin have a strict limit on creation of new coins, so they actually go up in value. Take a look at this chart of digital currency prices. It's going in the exact opposite direction of dollars. Wouldn't it be nice if the dollars in your pocket or your bank actually went up in value? With digital currencies, that actually happens. Bitcoin can also be much cheaper in terms of transaction costs. Try to move as little as $10,000 in cash, and you'll encounter all kinds of fees, laws, and roadblocks in your way. But Bitcoin can be easily transferred in seconds. Microsoft founder Bill Gates summed it up nicely. Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap money can be, he said during a Bloomberg TV interview. Bitcoin is better than currency. For large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient. And Fidelity's CEO told the Wall Street Journal that Bitcoin is a more efficient way to settle transactions. The smartest minds know that it's a better way of doing business. And the excitement surrounding digital currencies right now is only getting bigger. Just look at this chart showing the number of Bitcoin transactions taking place across the globe. It's going straight up. The United States is leading the way. We have the most Bitcoin ATMs and the highest number of users. But worldwide, it's growing spectacularly fast. Japan just passed legislation declaring Bitcoin as legal tender. South Korea is now one of the largest Bitcoin exchange markets. And China has become one of the largest hubs for cryptocurrency. Denmark, ranked 6th in Forbes' 100 Best Countries for Business, recently declared that it wants to go 100% digital currency. Other countries seeing massive growth in Bitcoin usage include Sweden, Finland, Canada, Australia, and the UK. And businesses across the globe are accepting digital currencies as forms of payment. Microsoft just announced that it reprogrammed its key software to accept Bitcoin. You can now use Bitcoin to shop on Amazon. Dish Network accepts Bitcoin, as does Dell Computers and Whole Foods. The list goes on and on. Subway, Expedia, WordPress, Reddit, Virgin Galactic, OkCupid, Tiger Direct, CheapAir.com, Tesla, Wikipedia, Zanga, Etsy vendors, Overstock, Bloomberg, The Gap, GameStop, JCPenney, Europacific, SimplePay, Stripe, and Webjet. Every single one of these companies allows customers to use Bitcoin. It's plain to see that digital currencies are exploding in use, and the richest people in the world recognize the opportunity here. Mark Cuban just invested in digital currencies. Apple's Steve Wozniak just invested heavily in Bitcoin. Billionaire Mark Novogratz, chief investment officer at Fortress Macro Fund, called it the best investment of my life. But remember, for all the incredible growth we've seen, only 1 out of every 28,000 people own 1 Bitcoin. And Bitcoin still makes up only 0.011% of all global money transactions. We haven't even scratched the surface of how big this thing could be. Financial analyst Rick Falkvinge predicts a huge run from here. Each Bitcoin would be worth $100,000 at the low market cap and $1 million at the high market cap, he says. Some people say it's destined to go even bigger. McAfee founder John McAfee calculates the price of Bitcoin at $2.43 million in 3 years. And Bitcoin expert Trace Meyer shows if you move just 1% of offshore cash into Bitcoin, you are looking at $2.8 million per Bitcoin. I repeat, that's $2.8 million for one single Bitcoin. Yet, more than 99% of investors are still sitting on the sidelines. And they are going to watch the few people who act immediately collect all the rewards. Digital currencies are delivering profits like never before. And if you identify the right ones, you could make more money in a few months